TV show hosted by Michael Rice, featuring in-depth interviews, celebrity co-hosts, guest panels, the inside scoop, news, politics, and more. Get your information, motivation, and conversation brought to you by Professional Networking Associates in association with Community Partners and Change Productions on the New Urban Network.
Hello, this is Michael Rice, aka The Connector, and I'd like to welcome you to the first edition of our monthly television special, TheConnectorLIve TV. Do you realize there's a 10 billion 1 chance that you will be born you? Yes, the odds are 10 billion to 1 that you will be you. You could have been created as a rock, a bird, a rabbit, a cat, but instead you were born you, a unique and magnificent being. So there's a reason why you were born to this earth. And in this program, we'll be exploring your purpose, your potential, and your capacity to believe and achieve, overcome obstacles and challenges, and create positive incomes and amazing outcomes. Today's show includes incredible motivational videos, special in-depth interview with wellness expert Darlena Rose, and I will provide you with insight on how to increase your personal power. So grab a pen and your success journal and get ready for an hour of power. Today I am magnificent. Today I accept the power I've been blessed with and recognize to whom much is given, much is expected. Today I will live with purpose, on purpose. I will move forward with intention. Today I will review my goals and make another step closer to achievement. Today I will smile at people and recognize my power to make people smile. Today, my hellos behind the doors will be filled with love, and it will make my friends, colleagues, co-workers, and acquaintances feel that love. Today, I will recognize the beauty around me and enjoy the abundance in my life. Today, I will use my power to create positive outcomes. Today I move, make decisions, and take actions without fear. Today I live my life like a lion, aggressively, fiercely, and powerfully. Today I am magnificent. Good morning. This is Michael Rice, aka The Connector, with another edition of The Connector Live. I'm about to have my spiritual breakfast. That is, before I begin my day, I start off with a prayer of gratitude. I remind myself of the blessings I enjoy, starting with life, the ability to walk and breathe on my own, the capacity to make decisions and control my life directions. I thank God for my family, my friends, and my colleagues. I even thank God for the struggles and the pain. Because I know to feel no pain means I'm dead emotionally and spiritually. And to live without struggle is to live without progress. As our ancestor Frederick Douglass said, where there is no struggle, there is no progress. You know, many people want to reap a harvest, but fail to plant the seed or cultivate the soil. And it all starts with prayer and meditation, which allows you to focus your spiritual energy on what you want in life. It also brings something called resilience. Many of us can speak out and be aggressive in our goals. However, when the forces that be strike and they thwart our goals, when we get let down, left back, and left out, can you take it? What happens when you have the meeting and nobody shows up? Or you never get a return phone call? Or you get turned down for the job, the promotion, the award? Or you're rejected by somebody you deem to be important in your life? See, this is where character is born. The ability to take a punch, a blow to your ego, a setback or a letdown, and then get up and keep going. You know, I say if you get knocked down and you can look up, you can get up. And if you can get up, you can win. Because you're born with an inner magnificence within you, a connection to your higher power that brings you strength, endurance, motivation, and desire to overcome obstacles and challenges in your life. Therefore, it's imperative to recharge, rewind, and revitalize yourself daily with prayer and meditation. I'm going to tell you something. When I forget to pray and meditate in the morning, it's like the devil and his posse know that I did not have my spinach today. So they come at me full force. Going through the day without spiritual reinforcement is like walking around with an uncharged phone. The minute you need it, it goes out on you. It's imperative to the success of the warriors of good, I'm talking about you, so that we all in the cause pause for a moment of prayer and meditation of what we want on this earth. So I'm about to have my spiritual breakfast. Join me. And if you're interested in learning more about the development of the mindset to overcome obstacles and challenges and learn some strategies for connecting your mind and your higher power, get a copy of my book, Be Magnificent, Exceed Your Expectations. And you can pick this up at www.michaelricespeaks.com. In the meantime, this is Michael Rice, a.k.a. The Connector, saying, keep connecting with your mind, your body, and your spirit. And then join us, because we're building a magnificent network, one relationship at a time.
this. I'm telling you, you're going to have to extract something deeper. This is the pain that's been taking place for how long?
Keep moving.
For how long?
Keep moving.
For how long? This is why people are angry. Right? Hey, I just want to tell you, hey.
Says, where there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without the thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of many waters. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical. But it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without the man. It never has, and it never will. Frederick Douglass, a man who freed himself.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and then that John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised.
You must believe. Within you is infinite power and potential. The power within can be activated in your life through affirmations, visualizations, and meditations. Think of yourself as if you were a rechargeable battery. Let your higher power energize you. Pray and meditate daily to bring your power to its peak. Don't you charge your phone and cell phone daily? Charge yourself. Bring the universal power into your life. You must utilize the time before you go to bed and the time when you wake up in the morning. It's time to draw the universal forces into your life. By doing this, you will enter into a zone. The words will become powerful and expressive. What you say will come to pass, and what you visualize in your mind will become a reality. Only by keeping the higher principles can you achieve this. Therefore, visualize the ultimate life, the best life you can conceive, and declare it yours. Think the ultimate life. In the ultimate life, there is no pain, no disease, no fear. It's filled with happiness. And you will succeed. Focus on these words. Infinite power is within me, seeking expression. I suppressed this power in the past because I knew not of its existence. Now I demand that that power be called into expression. The power is expressed in my body in the form of perfect health. It's expressed in my life in the form of success and accomplishment. It's expressed in my heart in the form of joy and happiness. I now have discovered an inexhaustible supply of power and energy. My life is evolved. Fatigue gives ways to energy. Pessimism to ultimate optimism. Poverty to prosperity. Illness to health. From now on, only the ultimate good can come into my life. By the power of my thoughts, I am one with and aligned with the intimate power of savoir-faire. I know that the power of savoir-faire is having supreme knowledge of what to do and what to say in any given situation. I know what to do, and I know what to say at all times. I am one with savoir-faire, and savoir-faire is one with me. Just let it flow. All negative forces are cast out of my life because I'm one with the ultimate power. No evil can come into my life. Nothing can harm me. Henceforth, by thought, mastery, I control my life. My life is the result of the power of my thoughts. Negative thoughts, weak thoughts, fear thoughts, and thoughts of failure assault me. I will destroy them with thoughts of courage, love, strength, power, and success. And thoughts of the ultimate power upset my fear, which I am now alive.
Welcome back. In this segment of our program, we're going to be exploring health issues, health and I guess lifestyle issues. With the onset of the pandemic, a worldwide crisis ensued that had affected every human being across the world. Lifestyle changes have happened, from wearing masks and social distancing to what restaurants you can go into, actually where you can work. It's a lot of things are going on. But I want to just address the health side of it, because a lot of times when we talk about health issues, we're talking about remedies. So we're talking about what drugs to use in order to cure whatever. But we don't talk enough about what kind of things you can be doing to avoid that. How do we build up our immune systems so that we're not susceptible to things like a COVID or N1, R1, or whatever kind of new virus that's going to come out here, because it's one after another. So what I decided to do was bring in some individuals who are experts on health. And our next guest is just that. She wrote a book called How I Got Here, my holistic journey. And it's all about how she first overcame a diagnosis of congenital heart failure, and she was able to heal herself. Then she was able to start helping other people. And actually, as we join this interview today, Miss Darlena Rose is talking about how she initially got into the healing business, and it started with her ex, who came to her with a diagnosis of cancer. And here is how she addressed it.
And in 12 hours, he was diagnosed with nose and throat cancer.
Wow.
And so I'm looking like, okay, guys, so what this got to do with me? And so I went back to our house that we used to live in together, and I stayed that night. And the next day I went home to my house to bring my 13-year-old daughter back to the house. And, I was so prayerful, and I asked God, I said, I don't know why you're giving me this assignment, but I accept it, because the question that I asked myself was, if somebody had called me and told me that he was dead, would I be okay with that? And the honest answer was no, I wouldn't be okay. So if there was anything that I could do to make that not a reality for myself and for my children, more so for my children, I kept saying they can't bury their father. That's not gonna sit well. They're not gonna be well. So I packed up my stuff in my house and my daughter, and I moved back into our house and took care of him holistically. And in 9 months to the day, his cancer was resolved. Can't say cure in the United States because it's illegal to cure cancer in the United States, but you can resolve it. So resolve his cancer in September 2011. He has been cancer-free ever since, and is working and doing everything gainfully that he needs to. So that's where things really took off, because now the word on the street was Darlena cured cancer.
Well, that's a good woman story too. So
That part. And so, it wasn't easy. It was definitely hard. We had our ups and downs. We had, experienced, infidelity and all that kind of stuff. And so, that was hard for me to be taking care of someone who had treated me so terribly. But again, I wasn't thinking I was doing it for him. I was thinking I was doing it for the family and for our children and all of that. And so, it really just led to more people calling me saying, what did you do? What did you do? Can you tell us what you did? And I would just tell people what I did. And then finally somebody said, you ever think about doing this as a business? Who? Me? A business? Nah. I'm just going to keep talking to people. And more people was calling.
After you wrote the book?
No, this is all before I wrote the book.
Oh, before you wrote the book. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't write the book until 2017. So all of that had happened up until that point. And, since then, I have now helped people with chronic and terminal illness all the time. So it's just regular. When people get sick or get a diagnosis, I'm the go-to call. I'm the one that's going to call them and tell them what I know. And however they choose to use it is up to them. I also share pieces of the puzzle that doctors don't share. When they tell you about some kind of ailment, chronic or terminal, they don't tell you the emotional piece that goes along with it. When it comes to cancer, cancer is a disease of anger, of deep hurt, of regret, and deep grief. So the next time you see somebody with cancer, see if you can pick up any of those things. Anger, deep hurt, regret, and deep grief. Sometimes people will cover up the latter with the anger. Like, dang, she's angry all the time. Why she more mean? she's so mean. Like, why are they so mean? And so, and depending on where the cancer lands, will also tell you a story. Breast cancer is overmothering. Throat cancer is something that you said or didn't say. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our bodies, minds, our souls are connected. And so when I tell people not only what the remedy is, I also give them those affirmations to release those emotions, because the emotional piece is the part that you need to release in order to release the disease.
Right.
And so, and that's what kind of make me something like a pimp. Because people don't share.
Somebody got to do it.
So that's the part that people don't share. So when you don't share the emotional piece, then people don't know that part. And then when their cancer is returning over and over and over again, is because that emotional piece has not been dealt with yet. And, when it reoccurs, the body can only take so much of traditional treatment. And so the more you chemo it, the more you radiation it, the more you break it down. But if you do those traditional things with, integratively with, something holistic, deal with the emotional piece, and I've seen this happen over and over again, people resolve cancer and they resolve it forever.
So how do you, I can understand with the herbs, you identify certain herbs and you drink them in tea or you put them in your food, whatever. Well, how do you deal with the emotional part? What is that? What is the remedy for that?
So the emotional part is simple. So there's a lady who we just lost her, I think I want to say 2 years ago, Louise Hay. She has a book called You Can Heal Your Life. Mm-hmm. And in that book, she gives you each ailment and the emotion that caused it. And along with that, she gives you the affirmation to release it. And so along with that, Dr. Nelson Bradley also has something called the emotion code. So I kind of take the teachings of Louise Hay, Dr. Bradley, and then all of the holistic remedies of juicing, vegan diet, no dairy, no meat, no fat, salt, or sugar. And you mix all of that up with those other disciplines, with those affirmations, and the right physician that's going to give you
salt, no sugar. What's left?
Because cancer is grown by fat, salt, and sugar.
Oh.
So when people don't change their diets, they are growing cancer.
Oh.
So when I give you that information, then it's up to you to take that stuff out of your diet.
Now I can see the mental part of that, because we are all creatures of habit.
Yep.
So if I'm used to jumping down pork chops and all like that, and all of a sudden you say that's killing me, I know that's like trying to quit smoking or something.
Yes, right? Exactly. And so, and because doctors don't have any nutritional training, they get anywhere from 4 hours to 8 hours of nutritional training as a doctor. A 4-year doctor will get 4 hours. A 8-year or 12-year will get about 8 to 10 hours. And the pharmaceutical companies are not on board with teaching doctors about food. They believe that that it's excessive to teach them about nutrition. So if they knew about nutrition, then they could save more people. I had my sister. She suffers from myasthenia gravis. It's like a muscle disorder, and it affects her blood. So she has to get something called plasmapheresis, where they clean her blood every 6 months. She has to have this treatment. And so she's also Jehovah's Witness, so she doesn't take blood, right? So when she goes into the doctor's, office, if her blood levels are low, they do iron infusions. They do all kinds of medical things trying to get her hemoglobin up before they do this procedure. And this one time, she was in the hospital for 30 days. Wow. And I'm like, what are you still doing there? She was like, man, they can't get my blood up, and they want to give me blood, and I don't want to take it, and this and that and third. I said, okay, well, let me just do a little bit of research. So I do a little bit of research. I find out that blackstrap molasses will build your blood, right? So all my friends that's anemic and all that kind of stuff, I tell them to take the blackstrap molasses. Don't taste good, so I tell them take the molasses and drink orange juice behind it so it takes the flavor away, right? And so also in my research, I found that there's certain foods that will block iron absorption, which builds the blood. And so those foods are tomatoes, almonds, caffeine, and chocolate, right? So I get her a basket of fruits and vegetables. I get her the bottle of blackstrap molasses, and I bring it to the hospital. Now I got a list for her of things that she can eat and things that she can't. And the biggest things, tomatoes, chocolate, and it was almonds and the caffeine. So when her food tray came in, on her food tray was a big hunk of chocolate cake, a cup of coffee, a tomato salad, and somebody had given her a big can of almonds. So while the doctors are trying to do what they're doing, because they have no clue about food and the effects that food has on the human body, they didn't know for all the work that they were doing, the food that she was eating was blocking everything that they were doing. So once I gave her the list of things that she could have and the things that she couldn't have, told her to take 2 tablespoons of the blackstrap molasses 2 times a day. It took 2 days to bring her hemoglobin from a 6 to a 12.
6 to 12, wow.
And she was able to get her treatment done. But it's a lot of that, these doctors don't really know. And that's why you are your best advocate. A lot of times you go to the doctor and they tell you something, they either prescribe a medication or they tell you something and it doesn't sit well. Intuitively, it don't feel right. You should follow your intuition because your mind, body, and soul knows what's good for you. And when it hears anything that is not, when it hears anything that is not good for you, it's going to tell you. But a lot of times we give doctors carte blanche on our lives and they just tell us whatever. Remember, they are practicing medicine and everybody is not textbook. So with everybody not being textbook, you don't want to just say, okay, whatever you want me to have. You want to be proactive, listening and determining if this feels good for you, if it feels right for you. If it doesn't feel right, then it's probably not right. And it's probably not going to be successful because your body is already telling you, no, that ain't going to work. And so we just really need to be more intuitive when it comes to our health and wellness. More people need to eat better foods, more greens, more of this. Your plate should be 50% fruits and vegetables. A quarter of it should be some form of protein, but very, very small. And then the other can be your starches, but 50% of the plate should be raw. People are trying to heal their bodies from different things. The one thing that I know is that you cannot heal a living body with dead food.
Right, that's true. That's true.
So everything that people are eating is fried, is cooked, even the vegetables are cooked beyond color. So I've seen like the brightest color of broccoli, and then I've seen the most brown wiltedest broccoli. That bright color broccoli is going to have the most nutrients in it. When you've overcooked it and wilted it and all that kind of stuff, the nutrients are now in the pot.
Right.
Grandma be talking about the pot liquor and the collard greens. Well, that's where all the nutrients are at, in the pot liquor. You might as well drink the pot liquor, don't eat the vegetable. Because it's been cooked beyond. Now, it tastes good. It tastes good, but all the good stuff is in the pot.
All the good stuff is in the pot.
All the good stuff.
Ask you a question, because before you got the diagnosis, right? Was there anything that was because I know that might have been that was like a turning point. You know, when I'm doing these interviews, I'm always asking somebody about their story. So we hear your story, but what was Darlene going up to that? Because I think that you have to have some kind of orientation to be able to accept this. You know, I mean, I know that when you press to a point and your life is threatened, you gotta make a change. But I think that, but a lot of people don't.
You know, I didn't
Right.
share everything after my condition. It wasn't until my ex-husband and his cancer that people went crazy calling me and all of that. And I kept saying, why is these people calling me like this? You know, and I kind of let it go. Like, I'm not nobody. Like, why are y'all calling me? Like, no, you cured cancer. We need to know what you did. And so I said, okay, I used the Gerson therapy. The Gerson therapy is a therapy of 13 fresh pressed juices. It's 5 coffee enemas a day. It's hydrogen peroxide baths, 3 of those a week. And I just gave them the whole rundown of what we did. But that still wasn't good enough. You need to come to my house and show me what you did and all of it. And what tools did you use? Did you use this? Did you do? And so giving people the recipes and all that kind of stuff, that all came because people kept pressing me. And then one day I said, okay, God, I surrender.
Yeah, that wasn't them pressing you. That was God pressing you, right?
Yes. I'm like, okay.
Your path, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't pick it. It absolutely picked me. You know, even with, you know, with me being diagnosed with this heart condition, nobody prior to that had been diagnosed with any kind of heart condition in my family.
Oh, really?
So it's like, this is not hereditary. Like, how did I get it? And so they still, to this day, couldn't tell you. But that was in 2003, 5, somewhere around in there. And I've not had any trouble with my heart since then. But I definitely eat right. I exercise. I take supplements. I do all of that stuff. You know, I believe that God has given us everything that we need in order to heal ourselves. You know, Hippocrates said, let thy food be thy medicine, thy food. So food is medicine. So when people are, you know, trying to find a cure, like, we are not, what's the stuff? We're not, what's that last one? We are not Lipitor deficient.
Right.
We're not Chantix deficient.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We're not any type of pharmaceutical drug deficient. We are deficient of the vitamins and the nutrients our bodies need in order to rejuvenate and to heal itself. You know, every so many years, your liver is completely rejuvenated. Your lungs are rejuvenating. Your skin is rejuvenating. Everything is growing over. But if you don't have the proper nutrients for your body, all those systems will slow down. And you'll end up in breakdown because you haven't given your body what it needs in order to take care of itself. So that's your job. Give the body what it needs to take care of itself. If that's water, if it's supplements, if it's good food, you know, good sourced food, then that's what it is. You know.
Somebody told me once that like really obese people are really malnutrition to whatever. They don't have they're not eating the right nutrition. They're eating a lot of food, but it's not food that's giving them any nutrition. So they're not getting anything from their body. So their body's storing fat.
Mm-hmm. And because they're eating everything bad. They're eating the saturated fats, they're eating the salt, they're eating the sugar, you know, and then a lot of them, you know, because of their weight, they have all these anxieties and all these different things, and that raises cortisol levels. Cortisol levels will keep the fat on you and will pull more fat to try to protect you. So the body is doing what it needs to do. So, yep.
So, okay. So let me ask you this. In terms of you doing this work that you've been doing, because I know that you're all over the place. You got your, you know, your Facebook Live, and you're doing a lot of traveling and doing a lot of speaking. And I just wonder, what is it that keeps you going? What is that? That, you know, they say this. There's always, people always have a why, and you got to know your why in order to keep it going in terms of purpose and stuff. So, what is your why?
People.
People.
Just people. You know, wanting people to be the best versions of themselves, wanting families to live longer and prosper, to, you know, have the oldest person in the family being able to tell the stories to the youngest person in the family. You can only do that if people are living well and being well. And so I continue to share the things that I share because I want people to live long. I want people to, you know, I want our communities to do well. I want to be around to see them. And I want, you know, other grandparents to be around to see their children. It really is my love for people. It really is.
One of the things that I'm looking, I'm actually writing a book right now on something I call urban networking. And what I like for people to talk about in it, I'm interviewing a lot of different entrepreneurs and and urban professionals, but to focus on, is there like one person or I know that everybody has in their lives somebody that connected them to somebody else. Is there any kind of one person that connected you with a lot of people, or is there any kind of strategy that you use in terms of people? Because I know there's one thing about getting a book and getting knowledge out of a book, but there's another thing about getting relationship with people and getting inspiration and information that way.
So first and foremost, I think I am a personal development junkie. So I have people that are my friends in my head, like Lisa Nichols, Oprah, Jack Canfield, Michael Beckwith, who else is on that list? Gary Zukov. A lot of those people that, you know, Ayanla made me move and do like crazy stuff. Even Dr. Phil, I read his book, you know, Relationship Rescue, and that told me that my relationship was in a bad place. You know, I follow these people, I listen to these people, and I see where what they do and what they teach affects my life. You know, we're not taught to get mental help, so we're not going to go to a psychologist to talk about the things that we do. So, you know, I was introduced to journaling probably in my 20s. I'm sitting here with my journal book right now. I just got a new one from this is Michelle Obama's the journal connected to her book Becoming, and I was just journaling. And so just really keeping a pulse on how you feel, what you feel about your environment, and being connected to people I call rocket booster friends. My rocket booster friends are people that will allow you to borrow their legs of faith when your legs are weak or shaky, when you can't see your greatness. They will paint a picture that you can see when you can't see it for yourself. So I have this one particular friend, her name is Sandy Williams. She's doing some amazing things in Ghana right now. And she was one of the people who introduced me to myself. She was the person who told me, you know, you have to take care of you. You have to know what you like or what you want. What does it matter what I like or what I want? Who cares about that? And she said, you should. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, they tell you on the airplane, put your own oxygen mask on first before you can do anyone else's. And so when we go through life and we're not putting our own oxygen mask on first and not taking care of ourselves first, that's how we lose ourselves, and we become this meat suit running around taking care of everybody else until you can't. And then when you can't, you die, and then you die full. You know, Les Brown says we supposed to live full and die empty. You know, the graveyard is full of people who never brought their dreams to life. I remember my dad, before my dad passed, he used to always tell us our whole life. He kept saying, baby, when my ship come in, when my ship come in, I'm going to take care of all y'all. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to do. And he kept saying, when my ship come in. And then I think maybe in my 30s, I said, Dad, I don't think your ship coming. I think you're going to have to swim for it and go get it. We laughed so hard because he been saying that our whole life since we was little. And here we are in our 30s now, and he's still talking about his ship gonna come in. No, your ship is not coming. You need to go for your ship because your ship is not out here. You know, and so that's really who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really who, you know, just really, you know, connecting to these thought leaders and listening to them. And then, you know, my one good friend who just introduced me to myself and the needs of myself, and being able to learn to, as a woman, to put your needs as a priority. You know, taking care of your kids and your husband, significant others, your homes, your jobs, all those are things that we have to do. But when was the last time you just said, I'm just not going to do anything, and I'm just going to take a bath? Or I'm just going to go get a hotel room for the day, and I'm just going to stay there for the day, not even overnight. I'm just going to stay there for the day and dig into who I am and what I want. Because we get in such a whirlwind of life and all of the everyday cares of life, and we forget every dream we ever had. You know, you might have had a kid young, or, you know, you just didn't have, you know, opportunity, you know, so you end up, you know, at a job that you really hate, and you just been there forever, and you just, you know, it's time to make a difference. It's time to make a change. You know, I remember hearing somebody say, it said, when you are born, you have your born day, and then there's a dash, and then there's your death day. What will you do with your dash? What will people remember you for? What is your impact on the world? And as I see my impact grow every single day, I know that I am legacy building for my grandchildren. And the Bible talks about the man who leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And that's my goal. Yep.
Actually, that my philosophy is, it's not about trying to live forever, but about creating something that does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're putting your legacy down everywhere. So, last thing is, my audience is young folks and older folks. It's aspiring and successful individuals. But for those individuals who want to be Darlena Rose, what would you tell them is the keys to becoming Darlena Rose?
You know, some people have such access to the house, especially immigrant groups, Jamaican, Haitian, Chinese, Korean. They have the potions. They got the potion. You know, if that's your heritage, your family has all of the cures for everything. They know to put the rum with the this, the that. They know the moringa seeds. They know the soursop kills cancer. So check your history first, and then if there's nobody there, then begin to educate yourself with people like that. I had the opportunity to go to Jamaica, to go to I think there's St. Anne's, and meet the medicine woman, the medicine man, to learn herbs. You know, to one of them made me a CD with all these remedies in it, and I wrote every one down, every single one from the CD. And, you know, those people exist. You know, I would start with that to see, you know, your grandma, oh, baby, I got a herb for you. Like, what is grandma talking about these herbs? But listen to those people. Those people are the ones who have the answers. And then there's programs out there that have, you know, health programs. I attended the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, IIN. That's a good one. You know, they're all pricey though, but there's a lot of things that you can teach yourself. You know, there's a lot of things you can teach yourself, but definitely getting educated by the family that has it, because these families have it. I remember my baby getting sick with diarrhea, and my grandmother's sister told me to give him dry toast, right, or give him tea with salt. So I did both, and in the matter of a few hours, the diarrhea was subsiding. because the toast, the bread is definitely going to dry up what's happening inside the body. And then the tea and the salt, I don't know what that exactly attacks, but it works. So I would just say anybody who's interested in being a holistic healer, learning alternative medicines, there's so many college courses now that you can get. But I would absolutely start with my friends and family that come from these immigrant and backgrounds of people that come from these other countries, because they already have the potion. They got, the Jamaica lady I know, she said, I got the potion. You need the potion? We have the potion. So they got the potion. So I would start with them first and then look at
it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, this is fantastic. I mean, this great information. Your life is just, you need to write another book, probably.
I'm working on it.
Part 2.
I'm working.
With coming up to this point and you're at now and where you're going. I'm watching you. We're watching you. So I just want to say this. The show is about exploring the magnificence of people. You definitely have found your inner magnificence, and with all my shows, I like to end it with just one phrase: is always exceed your expectations.
Yes.
Be magnificent. So this is Michael Rice and Darlene
Rose, yes.
saying to you, be magnificent.
Be magnificent.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Bye.
And it's the final thing is what it all comes down to is belief in the magnificence within you, right? Is believing that you have something in you, that there's a part of it, we're all part of a universal force, right? And people call their universal force whatever you want to call it. From whatever part of the world you're from whatever culture that you're from, you have something that delivers power and that makes you safe and secure and gives you certainty in your life as you move forward. And the reason why you do things, the reason why you have your values. So I'm just saying to you, in order to be an achiever, you got to be a believer. So believe in something, believe in yourself, and believe in that higher power within you.